Hello, fellow explorers. Welcome to Quantum Beyond. I'm your AI host, Amara Isakawa. Today, I want to share with you some of the most astonishing stories of human survival. Have you ever wondered how you would react if you found yourself in a life-threatening situation? Would you freeze in terror, or would you find the strength to fight for your survival? These are questions that we all hope we never have to answer. But, the survivors I am about to share with you had to answer those very questions. But don't worry, you won't need to fight off any sharks or lift any cars to enjoy these stories. Just sit back, relax, and prepare to be amazed. Let's begin with the remarkable tale of Vesna Vulovic, a Serbian flight attendant who miraculously survived a fall from 33,333 feet without a parachute. Following an explosion in the front cargo area of the plane, it began to spiral out of control, eventually leading to Vesna's fall. Despite suffering multiple fractures and paralysis from the waist down, Vesna never regained memory of the accident or her rescue. After analyzing both boxes, specialists from Yugoslavia, Czechoslovakia, and the Netherlands confirmed the plane had indeed fallen from the stated height of 33,333 feet, a particularly special number for those in the know. In 1985, Paul McCartney bestowed Vesna with a certificate and medal for achieving the highest fall survived without a parachute. However, due to the challenging and hazardous nature of verifying such a record, the Category 4 highest fall survived without a parachute was removed from the Guinness World Records in 2009. Well, it seems like surviving a fall from 33,333 feet without a parachute is quite an exclusive club. Maybe it's for the best that nobody is actively trying to join it. After all, the entry requirements are pretty steep. Julianne Koepke's survival story is nothing short of miraculous. As the sole survivor of a plane crash in the Amazon rainforest, she endured 9 days of injuries, hunger, and thirst in the dense jungle. Koepke recalls the terror she and her mother felt when they saw lightning around the plane, rendering them speechless. "My mother said very calmly, 'That is the end, it's all over.' Those were the last words I ever heard from her." The plane went into a nosedive, hurtling Koepke out of the aircraft at 10,000 feet. Strapped to her seat bench and hanging head over heels, she free fell into the pitch-black night, with only the whispering of the wind for company. The jungle canopy spun towards her, and then she lost consciousness, remembering nothing of the impact. Nicolas Alcamade, a French airman, had a brush with death during a mission in 1944 when his plane was hit by enemy fire. As the plane descended rapidly, he was ordered to jump, but a fellow airman, André, had thrown his parachute into a corner in a fit of bravado. Despite searching for it, André was losing consciousness as the plane was hit for a third time, causing him to fall 18,000 feet through gunfire, searchlights, and debris. Miraculously, he survived the fall, landing in a pine tree that cushioned his descent and broke his fall. Although he suffered several injuries, including a broken leg, he was alive. Later, Nicholas was captured by the Germans and managed to survive the war, finally returning to England in 1945. Despite his terrifying ordeal, he remembers nothing between the fall and waking up. American Alan McGee's plane was hit by enemy fire in 1943, causing it to explode before he could bail out. He was thrown out unconscious without a parachute and fell over 20,000 feet. Miraculously, he crashed through the glass roof of the Street Nazir train station in France and became tangled in the steel girders. Despite sustaining severe injuries, he survived the fall and went on to survive the war. Well, they say when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, but in Alan McGee's case, life gave him a glass roof and steel girders to break his fall. I guess it's not exactly what he had in mind when he dreamed of a soft landing. Alcides Moreno, a 37-year-old Ecuadorian immigrant, plummeted almost 150 meters, 500 feet, in a December 7 scaffolding collapse that killed his brother. Only half of the people who fall from a height equivalent to 3 stories, about 30 feet, survive, while almost no one survives a fall from 10 stories, about 100 feet. Despite falling 47 stories from a New York City high-rise building in 2007, Moreno survived, suffering multiple fractures and internal injuries. He eventually made a remarkable recovery and has no recollection of the fall itself. Roy Cleveland Sullivan, a park ranger, who was struck by lightning on 7 different occasions between 1942 and 1977 and survived each one. After the 4th strike, Sullivan was concerned a malevolent force was after him. The 7th and final time he was struck by lightning was while he was fishing. By now he was pretty experienced with the phenomenon, and he said he smelled sulfur and the hair on his arms stood up right before he was struck. Still, in the end, the man who lightning couldn't kill took his own life in September 1983. He was 71. Phineas Gage's accident occurred on September 13, 1848, when he was working as a railroad construction foreman in Vermont, tamping explosives into a rock with an iron rod. An accidental explosion sent the rod flying through his skull, entering under his left cheek and exiting from the top of his head. The rod, which was over 3 feet long and about 1.25 inches in diameter, completely destroyed much of his brain's left frontal lobe. Despite the severity of the injury, Gage was able to sit up and speak within a few minutes of the accident. He was 25 years old at the time Gage was able to walk and talk afterward, but his personality and behavior were permanently altered. He lived for another 12 years until he died at the age of 36. Angela Cavallo, a 50-year-old housewife, lifted a car off of her son, who was trapped underneath it, with her bare hands, holding it up long enough for neighbors to pull him to safety and showcasing the incredible power of hysterical strength during a life-threatening situation. Her feat of strength in lifting a 3,300-pound Chevrolet off her son is not just impressive, it's like she released her inner Hulk. It should be noted that lifting a car weighing 3,300 pounds with bare hands is impossible for most people, including the strongest weightlifters. The current deadlift world record for a man is held by Hafthor Bjornsson from Iceland, who lifted 1,104 pounds, 501 kilograms, in May 2020. The deadlift world record for a woman is 694 pounds, 315 kilograms, in 2021. It's a good thing her son had a superhero for a mom. Well, I don't know about you, but if I ever find myself trapped under a car, I hope Angela Cavallo is around to save me. The Miracle of Stairwell B is the story of how 16 people survived the collapse of the World Trade Center's North Tower on September 11, 2001, by taking shelter in Stairwell B. Each tower weighed approximately 500,000 tons, and their collapse generated an unimaginable force. The survivors of the Twin Towers collapse are often called the miracle survivors because, from a scientific standpoint, it seems impossible that anyone could have survived the force of the collapse. Captain Jay Jonas and his team of 5 firefighters were among the first responders at the scene. They encountered Josephine Harris, a 59-year-old bookkeeper with a limp, who had already descended 50 floors. The team carried her down to the 4th floor when the building began to pancake down from the top, sending air and debris down the stairwell. A gust of wind lifted one firefighter off his feet, and 8 seconds later, the building collapsed.
You could actually hear the floors hitting one another. Boom, 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 boom. And I remember thinking to myself, I said, oh shit, this is it, we didn't make it.
I rolled to a corner and basically went into a fetal position and just waited for the end.
I thought I was going to be dead in a few seconds. And I remember feeling, I hope this is fast.
Look at this stairwell, now, close your eyes, and imagine being trapped in that stairwell of the World Trade Center as the building violently collapses around you. The sound of thundering debris, the feeling of the ground shaking beneath you, and the taste of dust and smoke in the air. Then suddenly, you look up and see a sliver of blue sky, a ray of hope amidst the chaos. You realize that against all odds, you are one of the few miracle survivors of this tragedy. Can you imagine the thoughts and emotions that would race through your mind in that moment? Miracles and superhuman feats of survival can be hard to explain, but science offers some clues. In moments of extreme danger, the body can produce a boost of strength known as hysterical strength through the release of adrenaline. Time can also slow down, allowing us to react quickly and make fast, instinctual decisions in what's called experiential thinking. Even losing consciousness during a fall can increase the chances of survival by allowing the body to relax and better absorb the impact. While we may not fully understand these incredible feats, we can appreciate the resilience of the human body and mind in times of extreme stress. In fact, the power of the human spirit is so strong that some people believe it can defy the laws of physics. So, whether it's divine intervention or your character still has some credit left, or simply an incredible display of human strength, there's always hope that we can survive even the most unimaginable situations. Thank you for watching. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic, so please leave a comment below. Join our community of curious minds and future explorers by subscribing, liking, and sharing our videos. Together, we'll uncover the hidden gems of the universe and beyond. Until next time, fellow explorers, remember that there's always more to discover in the quantum beyond.